Hi Shana, thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. So let's tell everyone, who are you and what do you do?
So, hi everyone, my name is Shana Begum and I campaign for domestic abuse. I'm an NLP practitioner. My day job is preventing domestic abuse for my local authority. So, my entire life is consumed with domestic abuse. So, yeah, that's me. So, yeah.
So tell me a bit about your experience with mental health and your past.
Yeah. So, past wise, mental health wise, oh, my journey has been a very colorful journey. It's had a lot of trauma in the past. I was raised in domestic abuse, and as you can imagine, a child raised in that sort of environment and the trauma involved with all of that. So, I had everything from low confidence to anxiety, depression, and then all of that developed into an eating disorder. And throughout most of my life, I had a lot of adverse childhood experiences, and it affected my school, it affected my entire life. I got involved with gangs. I used to be called wagging school. So I used to
Yeah.
truant from school. I got excluded from 2 secondary schools. So it's similar to a lot of people's life who have experienced, trauma in the past. So my life was extremely chaotic. And when it comes to mental health, my mental health deteriorated through majority of my life, if anything, because I was constantly running on flight or fight or freeze mode. And as you can imagine what that does to a body, what that does to a young person growing up. So, my life was just a complete mess, if anything. And I escaped domestic abuse in 2018, and that's when my life changed. That's when
Yeah.
my life changed for the better. So yeah, that was my experience with mental health. It
So,
was a mixed bag, if anything.
yeah. So obviously when you was in the domestic abuse situation, when you'd wake up in the morning, what would be your first thing that you'd think of? Would it be worry of
Yeah,
what's going to happen, or would it
yeah,
be what?
yeah. Sleep, I rarely slept, so I was, deprived of sleep because of all the abuse that was happening. I didn't know when this person is going to, act, how they're going to behave. So I was always in a state of anxiety. So even waking up in the morning wasn't easy for me. I mean, if I could sleep all day and all night, that's all I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was sleep. I just wanted everything to just disappear. I
Yeah.
was in such a hopeless state. But the thing that's changed for me, the thing that really helped me, that I was lucky, is I had 3 children, and those children, they were either saying, "Mummy, I've finished my poo," or "Mummy, I need to eat," or there was something where they needed me, and that's when I snapped out of my depression. Or even if I was anxious for that short amount of time, I used to snap out of it because I had duty, I had a duty to care for my children. And through that time, I think if anything, they were the heroes in my life,
Yeah.
because if it wasn't for my children, I'll be honest with you, Oliver, I don't even think I'd be here today, because of the level of adverse experiences that I had and the level of abuse that I endured. It was hopeless. The feeling of hopelessness was an everyday feeling, and however, thankfully, because of good people coming to my life, that fortunately for me changed.
Yeah. So at any point did your children speak to you about anything, or did they ever
Yeah.
open up and be concerned?
Yeah. Do you know the thing about children, similar to when I was a child, when you witness domestic abuse, you think that's normal. When you see your mom being depressed or, you know, low, you think that's normal. So my children at that age wouldn't question, because their needs were met. However, I think they did feel something was not right with mom, but none of my children ever asked me, "Are you okay?" My kids, when they know mom's not feeling right, they would ask me like, "Mommy, are you okay?" But once you're a parent and you look at your kids, that makes it all go away for a little while.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So like
Yeah.
I said, my kids were my saviors, if anything, indirectly. If it weren't for my kids, I don't think I'd be here today. So
Yeah.
even though they came through really difficult circumstances, they were, if anything, they were my saviors.
Yeah.
If anything, yeah.
So obviously, where did you move from to St Helens?
So I've moved from a lot of places. So I was born and raised in London, East London, in a very deprived area when it comes to drugs, gangs, guns. That was my life in East London. And then I moved up north to Oldham. Then I moved to Bolton. And now home is St Helens.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. This is home now because it's such an amazing place where I live now. So this is my home now.
Why St Helens?
So for me, safety wise, coming from a Muslim Asian background, the area that I was safest was a predominantly white area. If you look at the demographics for St Helens, I think it's 98% English white people reside in St Helens. So if anything, it's for my safety because nobody knew. I fled domestic abuse, so I had to flee through a community that wanted to harm me and my family. So we had to flee. But thankfully, some people are like, "Oh my God, what's happening for you now?" You don't have to hide all your life. You can come to a position in your life where you turn around and say, "I'm not hiding anymore." Everybody knows where I am now. But imagine living in fear, thinking somebody's going to come and get me all the
Yeah.
time. And that's a level of anxiety that I refuse to live like that anymore. And I've come to terms with the fact that, after domestic abuse, lots of women flee abuse, and my kids are safe, I'm safe.
What did you do to get yourself through those past experiences then?
So my past experience with anxiety, depression, all sorts, especially my eating disorder, fleeing domestic abuse, all happened in one go. If anything, it's once I fled, once I was out of the environment, the abusive environment, and I told people, speak out. I didn't care about the shame or stigma anymore. I was at a point in my life when I looked at my children, I thought, this is it. My eldest is actually 16, and she turned around and said, "Mom, no more hiding. I've had enough now. I've had enough." And because of my daughter, I thought, I need to be brave here. And then I just exposed it, and I said, I've got, I'm finding it really difficult. I'm suffering here. And I went and got the help. I got the help from people, and I was around good, positive people. Sometimes you need to look at your environment and ask yourself, is this environment serving me? Are the people around me, are they rooting for me? Are they wanting the best for me? And if the answer is no, then you need to change your environment. You need to change your circle, and you need to change who you're hanging around with. Because obviously back in there in the abusive relationship, my life was extremely toxic. But as soon as I moved here to a new area, around positive people, around good people, my life changed. So again, with my struggles in the past, it was exposing it and being around strong people who could lift you up. So even if I have a down day, I look around, I'm surrounded with positive people who lift me up. And, sometimes people always say, "Oh my God, Shana, congratulations. I'm so proud of you." Thinking, please don't say congratulations to me. This is not
Yeah.
me. This is the people around me, because I'm a reflection, of all the good people around me. So absolutely I'm eternally grateful for the good people around me, because if it wasn't for me coming out and telling people, "Listen, I'm struggling here," if I didn't have that courage, then I couldn't have overcome all my past baggage, if anything, the trauma, my illness. And I've got the help I needed, and now I help others. Now I'm an NLP practitioner, I help others, and it's a system that does work. It's understanding yourself. It's been self-awareness, it's understanding your coping mechanisms, it's understanding the trauma that you've been through, and also knowing it's not your fault. It's not your fault, and there's help out there. Please go and get that help.
Yeah. So why did you choose to help other people?
Helping other people is such a magical thing. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think, oh, why should I help them? It's not my problem. But they're really missing the point. The point is, through helping others, you're not just helping them, it actually heals you as well. It gives you such a buzz, helping others. And this is why I do it. I feel as though I'm addicted to helping people, because I know how that feels through all my trauma and all my pain that I've been through as a child. Majority of my life was through so much pain, and I've overcome that. So when I see other people who are suffering, I can actually feel their suffering. And I feel as though I have to, it's my duty. I need to intervene. I need to tell them there's another way. So it's not just I do it because I do it. I do it because I feel a strong sense of responsibility that it is my duty, knowing that I know there's tools and techniques to overcome. It's not a secret. Share it out. Help others. If you're in a position to help another person, there's only one question that goes through my head, and that is, am I in a position to help this person? And if the answer is yes, there's no hesitation. Absolutely, I'm there. If I can help somebody, I will help them.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do. It's my religion. It's my faith now. It's my duty. It's
Yeah.
my mission. So that's why
It,
I do
it,
what I do.
it is just amazing that you've took it on to do something about it, and that it needs to change. So
Absolutely.
when you went through your darkest times and the places where you felt that you couldn't escape, would you do anything differently?
Do you know, a lot of people ask me that question. Sometimes when my friends hear my entire story, they're like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm thinking, no way would I change anything in my past, because I promise you, through all of that trauma, all of that pain has created who I am today.
Yeah.
And I like who I am today. I think I'm an amazing person today. And I didn't like the past me. I didn't like who Shana Begum was in the past. I was so lost. But if I could go back in the past, I'd give myself a hug and say, everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Because it will be. Good times pass, bad times pass. This too shall pass. That's my favorite saying, this too shall pass. And once you really, really understand that, oh my God, you just live in the moment, and you surrender to things that are not within your control. Don't stress about things that you can't control. I used to stress about everything, thinking, oh my God, what if this happened? What if that happens? What if it doesn't?
Yeah.
So, and another thing that is really important for viewers to understand is we have roughly 50,000 thoughts that go through our head on a daily basis, and we are programmed as humans to be more negative. 80% of those thoughts will be negative. So in order to have a positive mindset, you need to consciously want to be positive. You have to make it into a habit. You need to purposely be positive, and once you get into that habit, it turns into your personal program. And you won't achieve anything in your life with a negative mindset. You'll achieve everything with a positive mindset. And anytime you are being negative, I always ask myself this question, is this working out for me? Being negative, is it working out for me? No. So why can't I consciously be positive and see what happens? Nobody's saying be positive all the time. There's no such thing. But it's recognizing, hang on a minute, I'm having a down day. It's recognizing and pulling yourself back up. Because
Yeah.
once you are surrounded with positive people, they can do that for you. Other people can help you lift yourself back up. So yeah, I hope that answers your question anyway.
Yeah. What would you tell to people that are suffering inside and that are behind the closed doors that we don't know of?
Yeah. Okay. So throughout my whole life's trauma, one thing I've learned is anything that's in the darkness meaning only within you, only within the house, only within the four walls, and nobody knows about that, that is just going to grow and grow and grow. The best thing to do with any problem, anything that is eating away inside you, bring it into the light. Bring it into the light, meaning go talk to somebody about it, go get the help. I never realized how many services there were out there for mental health, suicide, eating disorders, domestic abuse, until I thought, well, hang on a minute, I can't do this anymore. I don't like the way my life is anymore. And once you start asking those questions, it's all about the correct questions. Once you start asking those questions, go out there and find that help. Because once you look for it, you will find it.
Yeah.
There's so many services out there. Anybody suffering in silence, I promise you, your life will change. You will meet amazing people. You know, people will just gravitate to you. Positive people will gravitate to you once you make that decision. It's more like a declaration. You know, once you make that declaration that enough is enough, that's when you'll see change happen. And it's not a destination. Some people think, oh, it's a destination. It's not. It's a journey.
Yeah.
So it's journey, meaning it'll be forever. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm the best of the best and that's it, or I've overcome this and that's it. There's no such thing. It's a journey. It's an everyday conscious effort to be the best version of you, you know. And if you are suffering with mental health or anything else, get the help. I met this lady who had schizophrenia, who used to hear voices in her head, and she ended up in, you know, sectioned, and her entire life fell apart. But 5 years down the line, she's like a university professor now, even with her schizophrenia. And she's the best in her field. Does that make sense? So honestly, it doesn't matter what you have, whether it's bipolar, schizophrenia, whatever. It's all about recognizing it, managing it, and this is you. That's you as a whole, and accepting yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, if you can't accept yourself with all your stuff, you know, whether it's anxiety, depression, or whatever, then if you can't accept yourself, you start hating yourself, and that's a dangerous arena when you can't love yourself. So my advice to anybody is, please go out there. There's so many fantastic people you can meet, you know, especially my schizophrenia friend, who's bloody she's a professor, you know.
So obviously reading the St Helens Star and the local newspaper, and obviously seeing you win an award, do you want to tell us more about what the award is?
Yeah, so the award was amazing. I didn't expect to even be in that environment with so many inspirational people like yourself, because you won the award the same year I won the award. So for me, winning the award was basically because of my community work. So let's just fast forward to where I was in 2018. So I fled domestic abuse. I came with nothing, just a Slazenger bag with a few clothes. I had nothing, just 3 kids, homeless, living in a refuge, and finally resettled in St Helens. And I could have easily spiraled into even more depression, but I thought, no. I had no money, no nothing, but what I did have was a litter picker. So me and my kids, we used to do lots of things in the community. And then eventually, with my story, I helped other women through domestic abuse. And then that turned into something even more, doing lots of things in the community. So even though I didn't have money at that time, what I did have was my time. And what I discovered is, through my missionary work in the community, giving something back, helping others, that was recognized. And you know, and then I won the St Helens Pride Award, wasn't even expecting it. And Steve Prescott Foundation, they were so fantastic, you know. Imagine, I felt as though I didn't even belong there. I thought, oh my God, you know, this is an awards night. I don't even have clothes for this awards night. I didn't have anything at all. And then it was like saving. And these people really, that foundation, Steve Prescott Foundation, really helped me. And if it wasn't for them recognizing me like that, and the judges as well, I wouldn't be here today, because that really boosted me up. That really lifted my confidence so much, that I've done all of this work, and I didn't do it for a thank you. I just did it because it was my duty. And then being recognized for all that hard work It was such an amazing feeling, and I'm so proud. I feel as though St Helens is my home, and this is why I do my missionary work. So not just my day job, I do my missionary work in the community as well. That's a way of saying I'm invested in St Helens. St Helens is my home. They're my people, they're my family, and if I can help you in any way, then absolutely I will, because I'm yours now. I'm a St. Helens
Yeah,
lady. Does that make sense? So this
yeah,
is why I do what I do. And it was absolutely amazing, to be up there with other people as well, and watching you as well, Oliver. I'm thinking, oh my God, these guys are great. And then just finding a new bunch of friends as well. So it was life changing, if anything. And I really, really love the Steve Prescott Foundation. It's I feel as though I belong there. I belong in St.
they
Helens
are,
now.
they are an amazing foundation that
Yeah, yeah,
helps so many people on a daily basis, especially what they're doing now. Obviously, whilst we're in lockdown, helping the community,
yeah.
those who need that extra bit of help, with shopping and things like that. And obviously,
Mm,
especially our St Helens celebrity, Johnny Vegas, he's doing a lot for the community as well, which is just amazing.
yeah, yeah. I absolutely big fan, big fan.
So thank you so much for joining me today. We are in the 5th day of Mental Health Week. I greatly appreciate you spending some time with me and sharing your story and giving advice and help to others. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for having me, Oliver, and thank you for everything you do as well. I really appreciate.
Oh,
Love to be part of it. So thank you so much.
yeah, hope to see you soon.
See you soon.
Yeah, bye.